Hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Welcome. Do we like Kevin Hart here, or are we Kevin Hart haters? Is it bad if I like Kevin Hart? Does that make me white or something? Or hold on. Nope. No. Dude, I hate I don't understand. I don't know anything about HDR or whatever at all. I don't know. My upper monitor is not as dark as the bottom monitor. Why? No. Like it's set to gaming mode. This monitor is. Why? How do I make it not set to game mode? I don't want to set to game mode. I don't even know why it would be set to game mode. Do I have to change this on like my computer? Ah! I don't know. Okay, whatever, who cares? Okay. Serious, two-part question. You often say with Ukraine-Russia that we can't have countries invading other countries in the 21st century. That's not what I said. Under most definitions, wouldn't the Israeli strike count as an invasion and thus a violation of those norms? An invasion? No, almost certainly not. What I've said is the not normal thing is invading country to steal sovereign territory from that country and then incorporate it into your own. It's a thing that hasn't really happened. Windows Alt B. And then two, does Iran have a valid claim now of it? Does it have the right to defend itself? Okay, if you're Israeli or if you know anything about the Middle East, one of the funniest tone policing things are people in the West. Wait, hold on, that guy just fucked me. Why did I push that button without looking at what it did first? That was my fault. I fucked myself. It's just Windows game mode HDR toggle. Well, now I just turned it off on my. Now I just turned game mode computer. How fucked is my show right now? Say fire truck. Is my stream on? Say police car. Okay. Second dumb thing that gets said. You said in this comment, does Iran have a valid claim now of it? Does Iran have a valid claim now of it has the right to defend itself since Israel struck them first, unprovoked? Okay, people say this retarded shit all the time where they'll go, since Israel did that, you know that the other side can attack now. So just to be clear, the other side can always attack and has always attacked, and nobody gives a fuck about it. It's the most retarded, like, I don't know if people think they're doing something when they say that, like, Israel, just so you know, because you did that, Iran can attack you now. Meanwhile, Hezbollah funding by Iran, Yemen Houthis funded by Iran, aspects of Hamas funded by Iran. Like, wow, really? Okay, well, don't want to, it would be like me calling Hassan a name and then you being like, you know that Hassan might start making lies up about you now, Destiny, right? Like, if you do that, like, yeah, no shit. That's the rules of the Middle East. Okay, so invasion may be wrong, but isn't the general gist that countries should not be launching military strikes on other countries unless they're attacked first or have information that will be imminently attacked? Feels like we would not be okay with what Israel did happening to one of our allies, but are fine with it since it's a country we dislike. I don't know if that's the case. If we had allies that were pursuing nukes against our will, I don't know what we would do. That's a really difficult situation to comprehend. Just so you know, this is a very simple, very easy thing. Israel has done this for years. There is no world where Israel exists and Iran exists with nukes. Israel will either enter an existential war and be destroyed, or Iran will perpetually be put off by having nukes, by having Israel bomb them. I don't know if Israel will ever be willing to posture or have a position internationally where Iran is a nuclear power. I don't know if they would ever deal with that. And I don't even know if I disagree with that necessarily. Why don't Iran and Israel just be friends? I have not studied the Iranian history, so I can't tell you that. Haven't they been attacking each other without an official truce for years? Like, this isn't just an attack out of the blue. Israel will attack Iran if it feels like Iran is getting close to nuclear weapons. That will always be the case. That's just always going to be the case. And Iran is pursuing and getting closer and closer to nuclear weapons, so they're going to keep bombing them. That's how it goes. That's how it will go. Why are other countries content with allowing Iran to move towards nukes since breaking the deal in 2020? I've said this before, and I will continue to say it because nobody has proved me wrong. even though I can't possibly be right, I think that Israel is the only country in the Middle East besides... No, I think Israel is the only country in the Middle East with a military. I don't think anybody else has a military. I don't think there are any other ones, except for the non-state actor Hezbollah. Maybe. And there's... The Houthis have a lot of 14-year-olds with AK-47s and bombs that they strap IEDs to, or boats that they strap IEDs to. Oh, and Turkey. Sorry, Turkey. Turkey's got some stuff. Syria has one too. Yeah, split to like 400 pieces. I have no idea what is the capacity of Syria to do anything. Same thing with Iraq. Iraq had an incredibly formidable military prior to the second Gulf War. If other states get the capacity to attack Israel, is it okay to stop that as well? No one is talking about a capacity to attack or whatever. They're talking about nuclear weapons. It's a fundamentally different. It's a different class of thing. That might always be the case, but the question I don't know the answer to, is it unhinged for Israel to do that as well? Like, why doesn't Iran have the right to do so? Israel's feeling is that if Iran gets nuclear weapons, Israel truly faces an existential threat, that Iran will use those and start nuking Israel. That's what Israel's feelings are. Would they? I lean more on the side than no than yes, but like having even if Israel agreed with me, or the right wing in Israel agreed with me, and they would say, okay, so maybe only a 20 or 30% chance that they would nuke us. Yeah, probably not. No one serious would say Iran having nukes is a good thing, but the idea that Iran will have nukes soon has been in the media for at least 30 years now. Can you make the argument for why bombing them doesn't give Iran's allies further justification for funding their nuclear research because they're allies on the brink? You have to just stop. I don't know how to convey that to you. I'm so sorry. But whenever you say things like you're saying something, like you're saying something, and you don't realize that you're saying nothing, right? Doesn't that give Iran justification? They don't need justification. Iran doesn't need justification to pursue an aggressive posture towards Israel. They have been to the maximal extent for at least the past like 2 decades. So when you say, I don't know why you're ending your things like, doesn't this mean that Iran is good? They already are. Well, if you keep doing this, won't people help Iran? They already are. Well, doesn't that at least give them justification? They don't need it. Well, what if they attack Israel? They already are. Like, nothing you say there matters. Iran is already maximally dedicated to the eradication of Israel. Okay, so nothing that Israel does changes the calculations there for them at all. Israel just doesn't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. And my guess is, unless there is some intricacy that I don't understand, or some interplay between the countries, Saudi Arabia probably really doesn't want Iran to have nuclear weapons as well. So if Iran goes to counterattack and shoot shit at Israel, it wouldn't surprise me if you saw countries like Jordan and Saudi Arabia step up to defend them again, like they did before. Do you think Iran is going to attack U.S. personnel in the region? If my guess would be if they do, it would be incidental. I don't think Iran wants to attack U.S. personnel. The problem is that, at least from what I've seen, everything is following kind of like predictable rules of war. Iran will probably try some counterattack. It's probably going to get smacked down because, like I said, I don't think anybody has a real military in the Middle East besides Israel, Turkey, and But what about Egypt? I don't know. What the fuck has Egypt done lately? The Saudi military is not a real thing. I do not believe that, and I will never believe that. Apparently it is, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Fuck, what war was it? Fuck, was it 73? Yom Kippur? There was some war where... Fuck, where did I read this? It was like 4 Saudi planes, huge like cargo planes with a bunch of like military equipment, took off, and the pilots just like flew to Egypt, and they like defected with all the equipment. They were like, fuck this, and they just left. I don't know, bro. I don't believe that Saudi Arabia has a real... These motherfuckers have been, quote unquote, bombing the Houthis that live in fucking caves with AK-40s. Like the Houthis, at least in the northern parts of Yemen, well, it's southern Yemen, but it's like the northern mountainous parts of southern Yemen, where the Houthis are from, where the Houthi family is from. Like, that's like actually what people thought the Taliban lived like. Like, people in caves with fucking children and guns and shit, I think. And the fact that Saudi Arabia fucking bombed these motherfuckers for years, with U.S. help under Trump, a ton. So much that we even started to hide how much we were doing it, because Trump stopped publishing those numbers. But, yeah, I don't know. Kuwait has a real military. They have 1 million troops in reserve and 2,000 F-35s. Are there even 2,000 F-35s on the planet? Does Kuwait even have 1 million people? Wait, what? I don't actually know. Population, Kuwait. There's 4.8 million people. 20% of their people are in the military. Nice. How many F-35s exist? I'm going to guess. I actually have no idea. Why? It feels like there'd be like less than 500 of these planes in the whole world, no? I don't know. Okay, there's about 1,170 built worldwide. They found a duplication glitch. Ah. But what if Iran not fathers? Somebody link me the not father. After seeing the Russia and Ukraine war, I feel like the U.S. has been overestimating our adversaries. It's not so much that, so much as it's like, I guess if you ever play StarCraft against an opponent, when you have a really big army, like in any strategy game, there are different ways to win and play. And if you have a big army, or if you're playing like a race or a faction that makes big armies that kill things really well, your opponent probably isn't going to make a big army to kill your army. Your opponent is probably going to make annoying things to fuck with you, right? I think in RTS it's usually called harassment, or small attacks on your supply lines or your resources or shit like that. And that's the kind of fighting that you're normally going to have to do. Usually, I'm sure there's some Sun Tzu shit written on this. You don't attack where your opponent is the strongest. You always attack at the weakest places. And a lot of warfare, especially now with drones, my guess is a lot of warfare is probably going to come down to these micromanaged, highly, highly efficient attacks, where you've got these drones packed with explosives that are worth, I don't know what, a few $100s. They can destroy, a $5 million plane. I guess the cost benefit there is insane. Okay, hold on. I did this Alt Control Windows B thing that fucker said, and it fucked my computer up over here, but it fixed this one. But I think it just turned HDR off. It did. And if it turned HDR off, that means that my color spacing is wrong. Like over here, my whole computer looks like kind of grayed out. But I'm guessing that's because the HDR is on, but it means my color spacing is wrong or something, right? Dude, I don't. Pretty sure our military is already shifting to that. The United States military has a lot of capability, so of course they're shifting to and trying to be prepared for stuff like that. It's just hard. There's just a lot of stuff to deal with. Am I trying to stream any shit? No, I just want my monitor to not look fucked. There is an SDR and an HDR color space, using two different ones, obviously. Well, my guess is the monitor is set to HDR, but it's still using, or it's not set, no, it is set to HDR, but it's using the incorrect color space. I just don't know. Maybe we'll just do that today. I'll just read how color spaces work. Oh my God, and then we can get into grading. I'm never doing that, actually. I can make my own LUTs.
Hello. I am here to see the Velar Temple, or the Velar portion. Do you mind taking me over there? What is your name?
Of course not, Father. I am Miriam, priestess here.
What does not father mean?
Sorry,
I thought you just...
Of course not.
Oh.
I don't mind. Of course not, comma, Father.
My bad.
There we go.
Sorry. Okay. I thought she was calling me not father, like she didn't think I was there. Sorry.
He needs to run nukes on his mic.
All right, we'll continue on. Thank you. When was this temple erected?
Yes.
Okay.
Great erections of Roxas, built many eons ago.
Sorry.
About 400 years? No.
Hello. I am here to see the Velar.
Wait. Oh my God. Can somebody link me the 1 out of 1,000? Who has the 1 out of 1,000? Please link it. Holy shit. U.S. military spent a shit ton of money just recently making mobile forward drone and electronic warfare units with totally unarmored vehicles, the tip of our spear. Yeah, there's some, my guess is, as ironic as it is, or maybe it's not ironic, I guess. I bet EVE Online is kind of instructive on, what is it called? Combined arms warfare or layered defense or some bullshit. So like in EVE, in EVE, you can have, I don't know if the classes are the same with all the ships, but in EVE, you can have like these really big class of ships called dreadnoughts or big classes of ships called supercarriers. They have really big guns. They can destroy huge things, tons of firepower, but they're not really that good at dealing with very, very, very small things, right? In EVE, these were frigate class ships. You can put smaller guns on these if you want, but ideally these are big boys that can carry their big guns, right? You don't usually want, at least when I played, you don't want ships that can destroy everything, right? Big capital level ships are for destroying big things. In EVE, it would have been POS's player-owned star bases or other capital ships, right? So to protect these things, you have lower classes of ships. Rather than just having capital ships, what was the class down from capital ships? I believe it was cruisers. And then below cruisers, you would have destroyers. And then below destroyers, you'd have frigates. Does that line up with like stuff in the ocean? Okay, I don't know if it's the same thing. But like you have different sizes and different levels of ships to deal with different types of threats. But like conceivably, if your composition of your fleet is not appropriate, you can run into a really gross scenario where you might be able to field, theoretically, $100 billion worth of big ships and battle cruisers might be, were those above cruisers? I don't know if a battle cruiser is a real class of ship, but maybe you field a ton of capital ships, a ton of big cruisers, but you actually don't have the appropriate arms to deal with small ships. And as a result of that, an incredibly expensive fleet might be destroyed by something comparatively way smaller and cheaper. Or past this, in EVE, there are certain types of threats that you have to be aware of. Now, if you have the proper countermeasures, these threats are relatively harmless, right? So for instance, bomber fleets. Bomber fleets are fleets that would be able to, bombers are relatively cheap. What happens is they warp in at a close-ish range. They're stealth, so you can't see them. They deploy a whole bunch of bombs, and then before the bombs go off, they warp out to safety. Now, the problem with the bombs is even if the stealth bomber fleet gets caught, the bombs will destroy everything in an incredibly cost-effective manner, right? But if you have, in EVE, there are like pathways or lanes to get to other star systems. If you have a scout that's sitting on these gates, you'll always see when a bomber fleet is coming in, you know? So there's a lot of stuff that can fuck your day up, but as long as you have the appropriate countermeasure, the threat is effectively neutralized. But when you forget to have like the certain countermeasure that you need, you can run into a scenario where these incredibly cost-effective ways of fucking your shit up fuck all of your shit up, and it completely fucks your day up. It seems like just like a video game stuff, but I think I wish I knew more like military history, but I want to say the Spanish Armada? I think Spain's naval fleet was completely destroyed by, I want to say it was by small ships. The Battle of Midway, did that have to do with a gap in defenses? Wasn't it a storm? Was it? Fuck, what? I thought there was a European country empire that had a huge fleet of ships, and they got fucked by comparatively smaller ships. But maybe I'm making this up. Fuck. Maybe I learned some bullshit.
At the end of the 16th century, the Kingdom of England and Habsburg concluded in 1580. Following this, during the War of Portuguese Succession, England supported Philip II. The sun never for the next territories that it lied on the back.
Can I just say, thank God for blacks and browns, okay? Thank God for the blacks and browns, because until we had multiculturalism, these barbaric whites would just fucking fight each other for centuries. You notice this? You see how all the whites were just constantly fighting each other, killing each other, kingdoms, enslavement. It was fucking crazy. Thank God we had the blacks and the browns in the US to come over and give us multiculturalism and to tame our inner white savagery, because Jesus, this just was not working. I'm sorry. So irritated when I see it. I think I saw Charlie Kirk tweet this morning. He's like, multiculturalism has failed. I was like, what? Compared to what, bro? Shut the fuck up.
Launched the famous Invincible Armada. This idea was proposed by Spanish Admiral Álvaro de Bazan as early as 1583, when he sent a letter to King Philip II, in which he first clearly suggested the creation of a powerful naval fleet to invade England. Philip II began assembling this fleet shortly after the start of the Anglo-Spanish War, and later appointed his distant relative, Alonso Pérez de Guzmán, as commander of the Invincible Armada. Like the king himself, he was a great-grandson of. Due to difficult weather conditions and a lack of ammunition, the Armada was forced to retreat to the North Sea. On their way home, the Spanish fleet had to sail around the British Isles. The route to the Iberian Peninsula was perilous due to shortages of food and fresh water, as well as the damage inflicted by the English. Additionally, a storm off the coast of Ireland destroyed many more Spanish ships. The Invincible Armada returned to Spain defeated. The Spanish lost 44 ships, and estimates suggest that between 10,000 to 20,000 people were killed or went missing. The English celebrated their victory. The defeat of the Armada became one of the most famous military triumphs in the history of England and Spain as a base.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, fuck this. Are you thinking about this? I don't know what I'm thinking about, and I'm not going to be able to find it. I'm not starting to be able to. I'm just saying that there are, when it comes to fielding armies, there's a ton of different layers of stuff that you have to be aware of, and if you don't have appropriate countermeasures for everything, you can end up losing an incredible amount of stuff to some very cost-effective trickery, is what I'm saying. The recent Russia-Ukraine wars are an example of this. This is one of the reasons why the U.S. practices and trains with the military so much, and hopefully does things like logistics and everything really well and all that too. Yeah. Yes, blowing up the Death Star. True. You were thinking of the Netherlands, I think? I don't know. I don't know anyone. I don't care. Fuck you. We're gonna watch this. Get fucked. Because I am curious.
Ukrainian engineers designed a clever drone launching system.
Wait, before we watch this, I'm sorry, or before we watch this, I got an email from some dude that we're gonna read. I'll have to fix the colors on this monitor. It's driving me crazy.
And I need to roll a D100.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do.
You can have this real quick too. Sorry, tangent on tangent on tangent. Real quick, we were playing D&D and he used an ability, and then he had to roll a die, singular dice, sorry, a die to survive. And it was a 1% chance of failure.
What do you do with the D100?
I think there's a 1% chance I can just get lost into the world.
Wait. Call high or low.
Whoa.
Call high or low and everything too.
Okay.
Wait, can I read
it.
the other time for? Yeah. Thank you.
Leaping in and out of time stream is a dangerous activity. Every time the priest employs the spell, there is a 1% non-cumulative chance that he becomes stuck in other time. Doomed to death, can save
For further spells.
Okay.
Right now. So pick any number between 1 and 100 that is your death number, and don't roll it.
69.
77.
Don't roll a 77.
Okay.
What?
Does a luck stone count for this? Because I have a luck stone. It would
Why
be
would the
real
luck stone
bad
count?
luck. Because it'd be real bad luck to get stuck another time, and it's a 1% chance.
Doesn't Luckstone then make other time a perfect spell with no problems? Isn't there just a minor?
That's why you have.
So we go full, obviously, ruler mode. Okay, it's D&D. What are you gonna do?
That's
Red-
why.
So we debate this,
Could
and then
possibly
finally,
Mind.
It's an. I'll take it. I'll
Any
take
other-
advantage. I'll roll again. This is like.
he managed to argue it, and then
Fail.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, this isn't.
Yeah, but this is a sort of a spell failure. It's not working the way that you want.
It's a spell, that's not a spell failure though. Spell failure has very specific definition.
He's taking a wrong turn whilst leaving other time, but his Luckstone
So he has a Luckstone and he argues, I think, that he gets to roll a 1d6.
would have.
Luckstone gives you a 5% boost. Okay, so I'm gonna have you roll a d5,
A 1d5.
and on one of those 5, you still die.
Okay, that's
And
legit.
on a success,
That's
your
good.
Luckstone disintegrates.
That's more than fair.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
Do we want to take a break and come back and roll it, or do you want to roll it right now?
Let's
No,
take
I
a
just
break,
want to roll
yeah.
it now. I just want to roll it.
I don't know. I think we should take a
But
break.
you gotta pick a number.
I think we should take a break and
between
roll
one
it.
and 5.
I think we need a break. It's been a long time. I
Number
got to
two
go
is
to the
my bad
bathroom.
number.
I'm really thirsty
Number
right
two
now.
is my bad number.
Say
Oh,
it's
God.
2, don't.
Oh,
Did you pick 2?
yes,
No,
that's
he
my
just
bad
said
number.
3.
No, I said that was my bad number, but did he go to break?
Dude, why would you just go with 1? It's so fucking stupid.
You said 2 again,
Yes,
and
I
it rolled
said
again.
2. Anton is
All
gone.
right.
That is fine. That
I
is
can't
fine.
believe that. What the fuck?
That was a 1 out of 5 chance, which is 20%. Right after a 1 out of 100 chance, which is 1%. So this was a 0.2% chance, 1 out of 500. Did he actually die? No, listen, we went on a whole ass side quest and we retrieved him, all right? Yes, I know. Gather Olden, Kick Chat said, catching up on yesterday's VOD, but it should be noted that Tim can't acknowledge the link between the Proud Boys and Trump's statement, but he blames Victoria's one phone call for the entire Ukraine war. I know. Yeah, it's like that with everything too, right? How do you know that Joe Biden was involved in the Hunter Biden business deal? He's there was a leaked email and they say the big guy and that means that and it's like, wait. What? But then when it comes to linking Trump to literally anything, it could be link after link after link after link. And it's like, well, I can't read somebody's mind. I can't read somebody's mind. Kyle Kalinske spent his entire Iran-Israel coverage video shitting on Trump and blaming Trump for the war and negotiations. Do you think this is the right way? I think it's the wrong approach and delegitimizes the left. Wait, what? I don't know if that's a troll message or not. I was clenching my asshole yesterday because I was seeing Kalinske links pop up, and I thought I was just going to have to mute the Twitter account because him talking about foreign policy is going to kill myself. But everything I saw him, all the tweets that I saw with him and stuff were dangerously based. Okay, this isn't fair because if you've watched Middle Eastern history for the past 100 years, Arab warfare be like, step 1, release badass trailers showing your fighters training in the desert. Step 2, give speech promising to annihilate your enemies. Step 3, die. Yeah. Kind of. Okay, wait, I'm sorry, I gotta fix this real quick because my screen is so grayed out. How do I make this not... I'm gonna turn HDR off on both these monitors. Fuck it. And then I'll figure this out off stream. It's gonna make... Okay. One more, okay? One more shot. I gotta give you one more hit. One more, good luck. Okay. Are we here? Okay. Now I'm gonna turn my stream off and then turn it back on so that I can catch up on the latency. All right, give me a sec. We're here. Okay. Are we here? We okay? Everybody okay? Perun has a video on the drone operation if you don't want to watch AI slop full of misinfo. Wait, is this... Oh, AI telly. Oh, gross. Fuck, I didn't even realize it. My bad. Destiny, I'm 24 and I've been watching you for 6 years now, and unfortunately I'm getting my ADHD assessment on Monday. Over the phone, the doctor was pretty confident in it being ADHD. My life kind of took a weird turn and I feel like I have an imposter in my head since that phone call. I got more relaxed recently, but do you think meds is going to make me do better? Is it actually as good as people say? If you have ADHD, maybe. Otherwise, you're fucked and your life is horrible and you're a bad person and no medication will make you better. I don't know. You did perfect in that simple black theory convo. Yeah, I disagreed a lot with the guy's definitions on everything for obvious reasons. But I mean, it didn't seem like he was like aggressive or trying to attack me or be a piece of shit or anything, you know?
With Leanne. Thailand and Mexico are both incredible.
This is fucking crazy. Some product manager at Meta decided their new AI app should post all conversations to a public feed by default. The app is full of boomers and young children talking about incredibly private or bizarre things, often with full audio recordings. Jesus. This is like a nightmare scenario. I had some guy message me before. And I had to turn all this shit off. It's so fucking annoying. Well, it's annoying for me, I guess, as like an e-celeb. Maybe for normal people it's not. But some guy messaged me and he was like, hey. And I was like, hey, what's up? And he's like, did offline TV used to live in this house? And I'm like, obviously I can't answer that question. I don't know why you're asking me. And he's like, oh, I was driving around in LA. I live down here. And when I was driving by a neighborhood, a picture of you petting Mimi popped up as like a review on some house. And I was like, well, that's a picture from my photos that I took. I don't know why Google would automatically post that as a review on Google Maps. Seems kind of weird. I don't know if like fucking jerk off vids are gonna show up if I'm at like some fuck whatever at somebody's house or whatever. That's incredibly fucking strange. I don't know how that picture got onto Google Map, but okay. And then I went through and there were like 3 or 4 different pictures where I was like, just like took a picture at some place and then it's on Google Maps. And I'm like, that's interesting. Jesus. Did they know who you were? Yeah, it was like a fan who messaged me. How do we see if this has happened to us? I don't remember, bro. Navigating the settings of like any program now is confusing for me. I'm just a boomer. You have to like go through and just turn off like all the tracking shit and everything else. If you had to choose what is the most important factor in winning a war, manpower or money, I saw a news channel comparing Iran to Israel and talking about how much more manpower Iran has, but Israel is so much wealthier. Neither of those things matter. What matters is the capability of your military, which can be influenced by the amount of people you have, and it can be influenced by the amount of money you have, but it depends on how much you spend on either one, right? And it depends on the type of war you're trying to fight, right? Oh, I was just wondering about this. I didn't have this.
Hey.
Sorry. So, a product manager at Meta decided their new AI app should post all conversations to a public feed by default. The app is full of boomers and young children talking about incredibly private or bizarre things, often with full audio recordings. And apparently that comes from that. Jesus. And then the guy posts in a quote tweet like screenshots of conversations. I can't believe this is all up in public. You can just right click on the profiles and see the full names and profile photos of the people asking these questions. One question is, what countries do younger women like older white men? Then the AI answers, and the guy says, I need details. I'm 66 and single. I'm from Iowa, and I'm open to moving to a new country if I can find a younger woman. Oh, shit, Jesus. This one is really sad. Yes, I am losing a lot of people close to me. Losing people close to you can be really tough. What's been the hardest? I lost my sister blank over a year ago in April. I just moved away. I couldn't stay at blank house anymore because I didn't feel comfortable now. It sounds like a lot of big changes have happened in your life recently. Moving away from a place that holds memories, especially after losing someone close like your sister, can be really difficult. How are you finding the new place? Is it feeling like home yet? No, I am not at home. I am on the street. Jesus. The AI is like, whoa there, let's pump the brakes. I'm just kidding. Did Meta just miss being in the spotlight for some sort of privacy violation? Why would they do this? Some, I don't know. I don't know if it slips through the cracks. I remember one of the weirdest things, I'm so glad I didn't use this app much, because holy fuck, there was a payment app. Is it Venmo? Where Venmo used to, you'd have a public like feed, and Venmo would post, I think, the dollar amount and the target and the pay line for every single payment you made to anybody. And I think somebody figured that out at one point. It was like, wait, I think they even had the dollar amounts, right? Holy shit, yeah, retards in chat are saying, just send it to private, you can send it to private. That should be an opt-in, you fucking retard. Just set it to private. That's like going into the hospital and having the doctor chainsaw your fucking leg off. And you're like, whoa, bro, what's up? And it's like, you didn't read the intake form? Why didn't you check the I want to keep both my legs box? And it's like, oh, fuck me, I must have skipped over it. It was right underneath the, have you ever had asthma or a heart attack before? I didn't know that was the next question. Like, Jesus. These things should be He means opt out? No, these things should be opt in, not opt out. As in, like, if you have to opt into it, it shouldn't be the default, and then you have to opt out of it. That's crazy. Venmo still does that? I thought Venmo changed it to the default is now you have to opt into it, right? Your mom is an opt? Shut the fuck up, Dan. Your mom's getting it that much worse tonight, just because you said that. I would just say drugs on Venmo got banned. On Wells Fargo, I tried that like 10 years ago, but they don't let you put any bad words like that in the tagline, I think. it'll just say like can't have whatever. That Meta post says, apparently they were shared to a feed inadvertently, not automatically by Meta. Oh. Does Facebook still have like a billion Facebook apps or add-on things, or is it just like Facebook now? Destiny, I had an idea for when you do these insane debates on peers, etc., and people talk over you, you need a way to cut your headphone audio so you can talk through them. You too often repeat yourself because you let them cuck you by talking over you, and you repeat yourself multiple times, make them be the cuckers. Oh, I have to do that because sometimes the way that Skype or Zoom or whatever we're on works on these shows is it will mute your microphone when another person is talking. So if I just keep talking, people literally won't hear me. Oh my God, I had the best idea. I have so many good ideas. I'm just too lazy to implement them. I had an idea for a button that I could push on the iPad downstairs. And when I'd push the button, a little message would pop up in the bottom right saying like Havana syndrome activated. And then what it would do is it would turn on an audio channel on the mixer. And then on the speaker behind me, it would play Dan's voice, but like delayed by 200 milliseconds. You know how if you try to talk and there's a slightly delayed voice of yourself talking in your ear, you won't be able to talk. It'll fuck your shit up super hard. And I can just push that button and fuck his shit up. Oh my God, it would be so fucking epic. But I'm too lazy to set it up. There's growing evidence that Facebook is just banning users that are generally anti-Trump or anti-Trump policies. My 15-year-old account was nuked 2 weeks ago. Definitely seems to be some direction from the White House admin. Okay. Oh, real quick, and then we'll watch some of this video, I guess. Okay, I brought this up over and over and over again, and it sucks because you need to have some background knowledge on geopolitics, on like world foreign shit. And if you don't know anything, then I've said this before, when I say things to people, it's literally the very first time you've ever heard them. And I'm a libcuck, and so the default is going to be this guy's just like rambling off some conspiratorial nonsense. But one criticism I used to always say was the no new wars under Trump was the stupidest talking point in the world. There was plenty of global conflict under Trump. I don't know how they were able to like rewrite history or reconfigure our understanding of events that have actually happened for some reason. It's so crazy. But just, and I'm sure you could find more examples of this, but like just as a quick, review, the recent conflict epitomizes a lot of my complaints about the Trump crowd who kept saying no new wars under Trump. You can draw a straight line back to a lot of Trump's actions that explain a lot of the international conflict over the past 5 years. So the first thing, I bring this up a lot, some Israeli people get mad at me, but like the Abraham Accords or peace in the Middle East, as so many conservatives, Ben Shapiro included, called it, was a deal that cut out Palestinians from Middle East negotiations and directly led to the 2019 border riots, which fed into the anxiety and frustrations that were the big motivations behind the October 7th attacks. That Great March of Return, the border riot stuff, like explicitly and literally was about the Abraham Accords, the embassy being moved, and Palestinians being excluded from those talks, and then the continued relegation of Palestinians to the sidelines fed into the October 7th stuff. Okay, well, if you're not going to talk to us, we're going to blow you up. It's crazy to me how many people were talking about peace in the Middle East. This is peace. This is true peace in the Middle East. Like, they were such cocksuckers, and I didn't know as much 5 years ago or 7 years ago when the Abraham Accords were signed. So I didn't even argue against this point much. But they were so big on the beat. We finally have peace in the Middle East. Oh my God, finally peace in the Middle East. Like, what the fuck? And then all this shit happens like right after. Wow, must not have been great peace, I guess. Right? Ukraine and Russia continued on when Trump was president. Trump sold weapons to Ukraine. He didn't do anything to kick the Russians out of any part of Ukraine at all. Nothing in Crimea, nothing in the Donbass. And, right? I mean, like, and then they invaded in 2022. Trump did nothing to stop or halt any of this at all. The drone attacks in coordination with Saudi Arabia against Yemen under Trump continue to feed into the impoverishment and destabilization of the country, further entrenching the Houthis' power and strengthening their relationship with Iran. You know, the Houthis are still attacking people to this day, whether they're trying to shoot shit at Israel, whether they're trying to shoot shit into the ocean, or whether they're trying to shoot stuff at Saudi Arabia. The Houthis are still there. Trump stepped up the drone attacks, didn't get us any closer to solving any of the issues. They're still there doing shit to this day. Their relationship with Iran is probably closer than ever. The tearing up of the Iranian nuclear deal and the inability to negotiate anything lasting with them has led to the conflict we see today, with Iran rushing for nuclear weaponry and Israel trying to stop it at all costs. After that nuclear deal was revoked, Iran attacked Saudi Arabia directly for the first time ever under Trump's presidency. And now we see Iran today. Obviously, they've been attacked multiple times by Israel. They are trying to rush towards a nuclear weapon as quickly as possible. I believe Iran announced earlier today that they are done having negotiations with the United States. I don't know if that's holding or not, or how true that is. I literally just read that as a headline. The absolute and total surrender of the United States and Afghanistan forces to the Taliban in Doha, without the Afghanistan government even being involved or notified of the negotiations, followed by the drawdown to historic lows of troop numbers there, leading to the catastrophic collapse and hasty pullout in Afghanistan under precarious conditions, etc. Like, Trump has done so much bad shit in his admin, but like the can is just kicked down the road. The fact that this guy can come in and be like, oh, there were no new wars under me. No new wars under me. Like, bro, are you serious? You fed into so much international destabilization. And some of it doesn't happen until, some of it's happening under your term now. Some of it happened under Biden. And then he's like, oh, well, under me, nothing happened. Like, bro, fuck off. It's so gross. But
favorite part about this guy was when somebody posted a video of...
Is it possible that Daniels was paid because she knew info about Trump and Epstein? They planted the hooking up thing. Weird, it was hush money, but everyone knew the next day, and from campaign money, as if they wanted to get caught. What?
My favorite part about this guy was when somebody posted a...
Also, Trump admits he knew of the planned attacks. My guess is the U.S. is always going to be kept in the loop of any kind of attacks or anything like that, of course. You wouldn't want to surprise your biggest ally. You don't want to leave us having to make a statement or figuring out what the fuck is going on. That's probably always going to be the case, be my guess.
A video of when there were riots and things were burning down in L.A. in 2020, and then he corrected them. He says, guys, this isn't from 2025. This is from 2020. Which is like, basically, okay, so you let this shit happen twice? How does that happen?
Abuse of power.
Yeah, that wasn't this time I fucked up. That was last time I fucked up.
Putting our people, our officers, and even our National Guard at risk. California may be...
How is it... Wait, so it's Gavin Newsom's fault with the for the BLM riots or whatever, but these riots were happening all over the country. It's not Trump's fault? And now there are riots that are about to happen all over the country now, or they're happening in Texas or happening in California. You notice how when Trump isn't president, notice how shit is fucked up everywhere? Well, like, what the fuck? Hello? How is there no awareness of like, do you think that Iran would nuke Tel Aviv? I don't know if Iran would ever nuke Israel. I feel like the answer is no, but it's a very scary world if Iran would have nukes. That would be a very, very, very scary world. And I think of all the countries that exist today that have nukes, I feel like Iran would be the most prone to using them.
Be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next. Democracy is under assault.
A vote happens. You lose the vote. The person who wins the vote does the thing that they said they were going to happens.
Is next. California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next. Democracy is under assault.
A vote happens. You lose the vote. The person who wins the vote does the thing that they said they were going to do. You don't like it. Democracy is under attack.
That's an interesting series of statements that have no relation to each other. I think the reason why people are saying democracy is under attack is because the president and the people that are working in his cabinet have repeatedly said that they have no desire to follow the rulings of any of the judges. They are trying to attack the ability for judges to even issue rulings. They're trying to attack the concept of an injunction. They're saying that they have the last word on the law. They won't say that they'll follow every... I think there's a billion different reasons why people are saying democracy is under attack, and it has nothing to do with the fact that they lost. If you're looking for an example of somebody saying democracy is under attack because we lost, a really good example of that would be the current president, who to this day maintains that he won 2020, but that the election was fucking rigged. But, you know. Do you think that Iran will respond in a manner that will escalate the war, such that both sides will keep upping the ante? No. I don't think that happens. I don't think that really happens. I think, unless there's a historic example that I can't think of, this just feels like a childlike concept of like, well, in war, one person will shoot one person, and the other person will shoot two people, and then that person will shoot 7 people, and then like everybody is mutually invested in not having shit fly off the handle. Nobody wants that. Literally nobody wants that on either side. Things don't just magically escalate because of whatever. It's not like we're outside of a bar and everybody's drunk and some guy gets shot. Iran, I don't even know if they have the ability to escalate fucking anything. Though my guess is they'll try some counterattack. They'll blow up some embassy, or attack Israel, or try to, and fail miserably, and then say we got them, and then fuck off. It's my guess, but
really, that's crazy.
Before our eyes.
But the president says federal troops are helping save the city.
Called him up to tell him, got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job, causing a lot of death and a lot of potential death. If we didn't send out,
do you think Israel will stop attacking soon? Israel just wants to disable Iran's nuclear program. That's going to be their goal, and they'll attack until they feel like they've stalled it at least.
The National Guard, and last time we gave them a little additional help, Los Angeles would be burning right now.
Joining us now, the United States Attorney General Pan Bondi. Madam Attorney General, thanks so much for joining the program.
Thanks, Lawrence.
So tell me about this lawsuit, and what do you make of the governor blaming the president for the actions of illegals in this country not
abiding? Is all just ego? No, it's the fact that like they use these illegal aliens to increase the amount of votes and the amount of influence that to increase the amount of influence that they have in politics. So like you're using these people basically as like a, like a population buff, and so you get more votes and you get more accountability, or not accountability, but you get more representation.
What?
So like that's obviously why, right? I mean, it makes sense.
By the court order, the warrants that come pick them up, and the protesters that are now activists that are throwing stuff at the cops.
Yeah. Well, Lawrence, evidently, Gavin Newsom has not been out to the scene. He has not turned on the television set to see the incredible amount of violence that is happening in Los Angeles. President Trump is going to make America safe again. We're going to protect Americans. And
is there any evidence that Iran is creating nuclear weapons? I'm pretty sure most of the world agrees. I feel like there are a bunch of articles released just recently that says that they're like closing in on having nuclear weapons. Yes. There's a retarded version of his argument that has to do with illegals voting directly, which is stupid. And then there's a more subtle but even more retarded version of the argument that some people are typing in about how the census counts illegals and that can lead to a greater electoral count or whatever bullshit. The last article that I read about this on 538 that had to do with representation changing because illegals, anybody that lives in an area is counted towards your House of Representatives count or whatever. My understanding is right now Republicans have a net 1 benefit as a result of illegal immigrants in this country. If none of those people were counted, then chances are it would benefit the Democrats by 1 vote, is my understanding. Somebody can find that 538 article if you want, but they go through and they math out because there are a lot of illegals in places that are heavily conservative, I think like Texas and I would have to go back and read the article, but I don't think that I don't think there's a massive benefit there for Democrats. Like we're getting a ton of representation as a result of illegals being counted in areas. I'm pretty sure the net favorability was to conservatives there.
Includes Californians. If Gavin Newsom isn't going to protect them, we are.
But I don't even know if Asmongold knows anything about that. I think Asmon is just alluding to the first stupid theory of illegal immigrants voting.
To make America safe again, we're going to protect Americans.
Yesterday, the INEA group announced they were 100% developing nukes, which is a huge statement. If the INEA, since normally they tune down their statements.
This is, are you making...
Shut up! The International Nuclear Energy Academy.
And that includes Californians. If Gavin Newsom isn't going to protect them, we are. He also failed to declare an economic disaster. Had he done that, Kelly Loeffler and the Small Business Administration could have come in and helped all those businesses that were being looted. We could have given them federal funding, but he's refusing to help even his own small businesses in California. And if you loot a business in California...
Like, just think about how stupid you have to be, or not stupid, how ideologically captured you have to be if you're Asmongold listening to this. Like, just listen to the words that like, oh my God. One of my favorite things, and then one of the most horrifying things, is this admin, Richard Hanania, I think identified this really well. This admin is a really great IQ test. It's a really great intellectual honesty test. These people that are speaking now, there is no more mask and there is no more subtlety. They're just full-on authoritarian fucking losers. And they just say outright propaganda, unhinged shit. And if there are people that believe this stuff, you are clueless. You're either not qualified, not smart enough, or so ideologically captured, you have no business being anywhere near media commentary, right? You're telling me that Donald Trump, the guy who was playing games with FEMA funding when California was undergoing wildfires, you're saying that guy is so concerned with the well-being of Californians that he's mobilizing the National Guard to protect them against illegal immigrants. Like, in what world are these two things possible? Like, it's obviously fucking bullshit. Like, that's so obviously stupid. It's an obvious bullshit statement. If you believe that, there's something wrong with you.
California, during this, we're charging you with robbery under the Hobbs Act. No longer are the days of non-prosecution for looting. It's a criminal act. You've seen on the news all these stores being burglarized, vandalized. We've also seen, Lawrence, all of our police officers, all of our...
Like, at what point do you take a step back and go, okay, well, let's just take stock. Where are we right now? We're still going on a back and forth trade war with the entire world. We have 0 deals signed as a result of it. Pretty sure treasury yields are still up. Markets are down from where they should be. Absolutely. Canada and Mexico fucking hate us now. The European Union doesn't like us anymore. Conflict has escalated in Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine is getting huge strikes on Russia now. That conflict was not solved on day one like Trump promised. The huge peace agreement, ceasefire that Trump bragged about, that Witkoff supposedly secured between Hamas and the U.S. has fallen apart, obviously. Conflict still rages on there. Israel is now attacking Iran directly. Iran has said they're no longer willing to negotiate with the United States regarding a nuclear deal. Domestically, we aren't seeing any of the positive results that we were promised. I guess illegal immigration is down. I mean, all immigration is down. Nobody wants to come to this fucking country right now. Like, where are we? What's happened? Like, what the fuck is going on? We have nothing in... Doge was a complete and utter failure in finding anything. I think the House passed their big, beautiful bill, which I believe solidifies, was it $17 billion of Doge cuts? I think the majority of which are cut from USAID and like $1 billion from Medicaid. So 17 billion is what we got. Wait, 9 billion? Somebody said 9 billion. Doge cuts, House bill. Oh, sorry. The House narrowly approved legislation Thursday to cancel more than $9 billion in funding for global health. I think this is mainly USAID stuff. And for, not for Medicaid, for public radio and TV stations. Because obviously PBS and NPR were destroying the country. And then it's just, what are we doing here? Big, beautiful bill, massive explosion in the debt and the deficit on a 10-year time horizon, instantaneously. Like, on every single measure. And that's not even to get into the scumbag shit. The $ Trump coin, the $ Melania coin, the targeting of law firms, of college institutions, the Eric Adams shit, the $5 million gold card. Like, it's just so cringe.
Federal, state, local law enforcement officers being abused out there.
The plane from Qatar, yeah.
California.
Yeah, Signal Gate. I don't even know how to... Bro, there's so much.
All of our police officers, all of our federal, state, local law enforcement officers being abused out there, trying to keep California safe. Jointly, we've all made over 190 arrests. More coming. If you hit a police officer, you assault a police officer, state or federal, we are coming after you.
Thank God.
So Molotov cocktails, no longer.
So tell us, the other day, I think it was a couple days ago on Sean Hannity's show, you released the FBI warrant out for this masked guy that was throwing bricks at the cops.
Yeah, they got him.
What's the latest on that investigation?
They got his ass.
The other individuals that were throwing the bricks at the cops.
Yeah. They want more illegals counted in the census? Yeah, that's the reason why.
is coming. He is now on the most wanted list. He is on the run, and that's where he better be. He should turn himself in because he is looking at federal prison time. They're going to find you. He thought he could wear a mask and get away with this, but with our technology now and incredible law enforcement work with FBI, DEA, ATF, working with ICE, working with Homeland Security, we're coming after you. We're getting these videos. We're seeing what you're doing. We're finding you. This guy's face is all over the news now, and we are going to catch him.
We're seeing a connection between these individuals on the street. You got the pro-Hamas crowd. You got the Greenies. You got the...
It's crazy how they support literal terrorists, man. Like, I can understand, like, you know, the whole Free Palestine thing. I get it, but like, you really gonna support terrorists? I mean, like, can't you, like, you don't, it doesn't have to be both, man.
Occupy Wall Street people,
exactly.
and then you got these people that want to advocate for the illegals to stay in this country. I want to bring you to this DOJ case that you guys just opened against an Oakland coffee shop that were refusing service for Jewish customers. What's the latest on that?
You know, Lauren.
Are we really doing this again? Are we doing this shit again? God damn, man.
Bro, politics on Twitch is fucking cooked. Holy shit. Oh my God.
We shouldn't live in the world in which we live, where you would name a coffee shop Jerusalem coffee shop. Yet you would, when a Jewish person comes in there, they're mocked, they're told to leave, they're said horrible names to because they're wearing a Jewish hat or a Jewish star. We're not going to put up with that. Under Title II, they
not the Jewish hats.
Cannot do that in our country. Listen to what else they did.
What the fuck?
After the October 7th anniversary, said horrible names to coffee shop. We shouldn't live in the world in which we live, where you would name a coffee shop Jerusalem coffee shop. Yet you would, when a Jewish person comes in there, they're mocked, they're told to leave, they're said horrible names to.
Jerusalem mocked and told to leave by who? By customers? Because customers say whatever the fuck they want. What do you mean?
Because they're wearing a Jewish hat or a Jewish star. We're not going to put up with that.
If the owners are doing it, that's no good. I don't think you're allowed to do that. But
under Title II, they cannot do that in our country. Listen to what else they did.
What the fuck?
After the
no, from the owner. Oh, well, that's not good.
October 7th anniversary, that horrific day, the anniversary of October 7th. After that, they added.
What is this shit? What does this text say?
New drinks to the menu. One was.
Oh God, here we go.
Sweet Sinwar, in honor, a tribute to the leader of Hamas who tortured Jews, who orchestrated the October 7th attacks. That's the world in which we're living, that they do a drink honoring him and can't do that. And
oh
so
my God.
We've
Okay, close your eyes. Somebody told me this a while ago. I read this back in high school. Close your eyes, okay? Okay. Think of a donut. Just imagine. Think of a donut, all right? Think of the donut. Then think of a person. And then think of an elephant. And then think of the Eiffel Tower, okay? Okay. Open your eyes, take a deep breath. One of the, something I read a long time ago is that regardless of like the physical size of a thing, when you think of a thing, it's kind of all the same size on your mind. I don't know if that makes sense if I say that in words, but concepts and things don't have like a physical space in your mind when you conceptualize it. It just kind of is like there. I think that this applies equally to news and stuff that you hear as well. Why? Like, you should immediately wonder what's going on right now. The President of the United States has enacted multiple unhinged orders based on alien invasions, based on insurrection, whatever, to deport people from this country. He has federalized 4,000 troops of the National Guard in California, sending in the Marines. He's doing all this stuff, okay? Now we've got the governor of California and the mayor fighting against this, right? Why are we dedicating time on a news broadcast? Why are we dedicating any conceptual space in our brain? Not to say that this is good. Obviously, I disagree with it, and it's probably illegal. Why do we give a fuck about what like a coffee shop owner is doing for Jewish customers? Like, it's bad, sure, but what the fuck?
The menu. One was.
Oh God, here we go.
Sweet Sinwar, in honor, a tribute to the leader of Hamas who tortured Jews, who orchestrated the October 7th attacks. That's the world in which we're living, that they do a drink honoring him and can't do that. And
oh
so
my God.
We've sued them, and we're going to stop this from happening. And anywhere in the country, if you do this, we're coming after you. Cannot do this.
I mean, that's pretty egregious. I didn't know about the drink Yahya Sinwar who orchestrated the mass.
That's pretty egregious. I didn't know about this. Yeah, no shit you didn't know about it, you fucking retard. It's a random coffee shop in LA, I guess. Why the fuck would you know about it? There's probably 1 million coffee shops in LA. You're talking to the Attorney General, of the Department of Justice of the United States of America. Why is she talking about it? Well, there's got to be something more legally pressing or relevant to talk about than this.
That's a bit much, right? Who cares? I mean, I think it's more that, I mean, you can't deny people service because they're part of a certain religion. I mean, like, we are a part of an ethnic group. Like, we already went through this whole thing. I don't know how this is happening over again.
How is that possible? He made his piece when Israel took him out from the tragedy that he brought down on them. This is what their attorney is saying in response to this lawsuit. This is our view, is very much a political attack, and anti-Semitism, which is a very real problem in this country and in the world, is being distorted and weaponized. I mean, that reads like something straight out of Hamas's media organization that's trying to spin this.
History repeats itself? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, they are promoting the anti-Semitism, not only promoting it, encouraging it throughout our country. We will not stand for it. We will protect our Jewish citizens. We will fight for them. I was on the scene, Lawrence, of that horrific murder involving, of course, the young couple leaving the Jewish Museum. And after that, of course, look what happened in Boulder, Colorado. It's escalating. These words encourage escalation. Putting things on your menu that are so horrific, anti-Semitism, our Jewish...
I don't give a fuck if they want to have that drink on the menu. Like, that's not my problem. I don't care. It's just, it's in bad taste maybe, and maybe it tastes bad, but I don't really care about that. But what I do care about is, like, you can't go and deny, like, who cares? Yeah, who gives a fuck about this? Just don't go there.
Again, I'll keep bringing this up because I don't like the crazy making and the normalizing, right? Asmongold, who is critical of everybody in the news lying, who is critical of, you know, all the propaganda and everything, is watching a news station, right, that settled the largest defamation lawsuit of all time, that was involved in the big lie about the 2020 election. But who cares, I guess? This is insane. It's wild to me.
Well, the problem is, like, if you deny service to people based off of their identity, I mean, like, again, there's, like, laws against that. Like, I'm shocked that they're even doing this at all.
Population. We're not going to stand for it, and we're going to come after you. We're going to sue you, what we've done. So if you're doing this anywhere else in the country, you better stop, because we're going to find you. We're going to protect our Jewish community in this country.
Madam Attorney General, I only got about 30 seconds left. I got to ask you, in that case regarding California, I know it's going to be Judge Breyer's son is adjudicating that.
Have you seen the Trump card site? Yeah, it's fucking gross. I watched that. I looked at that yesterday. I don't think I brought it up on stream. Is it trumpcard.gov? He's such a narcissist. I don't know if we've ever had a president that has smeared their disgusting orange orangutan face on fucking everything as much as this guy had or has. It's so crazy. It wouldn't surprise me if he would try to build like a monument in DC to himself or something, if there's some way to do that. Jesus. Do you think that when people like Asmongold will stay this far right once Trump is gone, or do you think they will try and fall back towards the center? I've said this before. I feel like they're going to there's going to be a bunch of head scratching, and then people are just going to pretend that they were never this hardcore in favor of Trump.
I know that there's been a lot of lawfare going on. Are you concerned about that, or do you respect?
If you were a Jew, would care? No, it's not that I don't care. I think it's disgusting and embarrassing, but at the same time, like, I don't think the government should get involved. Like, I care, and I think it's gross. Like, you're like venerating a fucking terrorist. It's not that I think it's good. It's that I don't think the government should get involved, right? I mean, like, what the fuck? We're gonna deal with it, basically. Yeah.
Areas of the case are going to be adjudicated fairly.
Oh, well, we respect it. We have arguments on Thursday morning, of course.
Yeah,
I assume you're talking about the Gavin Newsom lawsuit against us. I think it's Lawrence, I think it's our 270th lawsuit. Who's counting?
If there's a really good argument for AI, it's going to be so much easier holding people accountable to their record after they all start shifting. I mean, maybe, but look how many people ask Grok questions and they ignore when they don't get the thing that they want, you know?
Against the federal government since Donald Trump has been in office. But sure, we're prepared to defend it because we are prepared to protect our law enforcement officers out there, and we are entitled to do that under the law. And that's another reason, Lawrence, why one big beautiful bill needs to get passed, because we have no tax on overtime.
And like, just think about how they speak about everything like retards. Like, doesn't it make you feel retarded? One big beautiful bill. The guy that cut my hair on stream was an Israeli. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. He sent me a video outside of his house. How cute.
Save me, DGG.
He dead.
law enforcement
That's probably not
officers,
gonna happen.
and we
I
will
don't think
continue
so.
to protect our
Canadian
law enforcement. We
here,
need fun.
how are illegal immigrants voting in U.S. elections? For an illegal immigrant to vote in especially for the U.S. federal elections, usually what happens is you have to consume anywhere from 6 to 12 hours of Fox News a day, and then you just go to sleep, and then you have horrible nightmares about it happening, and that's where it happens. And the nightmares of conservative Fox News listeners.
Funding for law enforcement, and that's why it's so important also from a law.
Yeah, true, Ripig. Yeah, true. I mean, how much more do you want to go on the hypocrisy? I mean, how much more can we say? Yeah. What did Republicans complain about all the time? No pork, no big bills. These huge pieces of legislation, these huge bills, if you like something, you need to pass it on its own. We need to stop doing this. And oh, now it's one big, beautiful bill with literally fucking every possible thing we could ever want. It's like, okay.
Enforcement perspective.
It's a big issue. LA is dealing with a shortage of cops, so I'm sure they could use the money.
I wonder why they're dealing with a shortage. Maybe it's because they have to take fucking fireworks and get hit and they can't do anything about it.
Yes.
Madam Attorney.
What are the odds of that passing? I believe it's almost 100% now, right? Because it got to the House and the Republicans just have to vote down party lines in the Senate. I don't know if there is, I don't know if people in the Senate are planning on, I was going to say downvoting it, on not voting for it. I guess it would be like Rand Paul and people, right? I don't know.
Gentlemen, we thank you so much for always
why.
being transparent with us.
Thank you, Lawrence.
You got it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilby.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Nice setup. I wonder what happened before. Criticize a whole race while protecting another. Totally original. No, it's insane that this stuff is even happening. But like, I'm glad that like now it's pretty much getting wrapped up. But like, it seems like it just keeps going on and on and on. It's insane. Yeah, free speech stops when you try to discriminate in your business. We have laws against that kind of stuff. Well, the difference is that so this is it. I actually, videos October 7th. You'll be outraged about the item on the menu. No, like I can be outraged as much as I want. Like you're missing my point. Is that it's not about whether I'm outraged or not, or whether I think it's a good idea or not. It's about whether I think that the government should get involved with it. Like, I understand that it's bad and I think it's stupid, but like, does the government need to get involved with something just because I think it's stupid? I mean...
You mean like federalizing the California National Guard or deploying troops to LA? Like that kind of thing? Or are we just talking culture wars issues because we're too retarded to engage on larger legal stuff?
I think that's a bit much, right? And so that's the point that I'm really trying. The menu item, who cares? Yeah, like it's just some bullshit. Like, you know how many bad jokes and like, you know, nasty shit people like to say and do? Yeah, I mean, that's it. So it's not about that, but it's about the other stuff.
I think I'm the first senator in the history of the United States to be uninvited to the White House picnic. The White House is owned by the taxpayers. We all are members of it. Every Democrat will be invited.
You got uninvited to the White House picnic? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Republican will be invited, but I will be the only one disallowed to come on the grounds of the White House. I just find this incredibly petty. I mean, I have been, I think, nothing but polite to the president. I have been a intellectual opponent, a public policy opponent, and he's chosen now to uninvite me from the picnic and to say my grandson can't come to the picnic.
You got re-invited back? Okay.
I just the level of immaturity is beyond words.
This is, again, not to relitigate this issue because I've already been fully vindicated on it, that Hassan completely lied about his airport experience. But this is, it's just more evidence in favor of there would never be secret. There are never going to be secret police or secret jails or secret oppression under the Trump government. It will never be that way. It will always be out in the open, public, and being bragged about. That's just how this guy fucking works. He doesn't think he's doing anything wrong. To be secretive about things implies some level of shame or some level of cognizance of knowing that of knowing that what you're doing is illegal or wrong or might not fly with everybody. This guy does not give a fuck. Keep getting those Martian recommendations. Oh, I clicked the video. Apparently I bought it yesterday. So now I'm getting recommendations for it. This is like an okay movie. You know what I liked about this movie? You know what I thought was kind of cute? Is that like the movie tried to be pretty... I watched this movie a long time ago. Fuck. Well, my recollection of it is that the movie tried to be like pretty clever in terms of the guy surviving on Mars. Apparently it's based on a novel where the guy goes to painstaking lengths to be relatively accurate. And I kind of assumed, just because of that style of movie, like if it did really, really good, it would be cool if a movie like this could gross like $100 million. You know, it's got big names in it, Matt Damon and a few other big actors. But this movie did way better. It grossed like $600 million or something, which is cute. That's good. Oh, directed by Ridley Scott. I didn't even know that. How does Ridley Scott throw up such horrible fucking movies next to really, really good movies sometimes? Budget 108 million, grossed 631. Not bad. Name one bad movie from Ridley Scott. The fucking that Napoleon one or whatever the fuck recently was god awful, and he's made other. Are you really challenging me on that? That you don't think Ridley Scott has bad movies? I heard Gladiator 2 wasn't that good. Napoleon was fucking awful. The Last Duel was okay. House of Gucci was, I heard meh things about it. Alien Covenant was fucking horrible. The Martian was good. Prometheus. Bleh, bleh, bleh. American Gangster was good. Maybe. I really like Denzel Washington, so I might be clouding my judgment there. But then, like, you go further back. Black Hawk Down. I didn't see Hannibal. Unfortunately. That might have been a good one, though. I feel like I heard good things about that. Gladiator. Blade Runner. Alien. Okay, I feel like he's like 50-50, actually. Meh, whatever. I've repeated this a million times for the election, but we'll continue to say it. American foreign policy is uniparty, retarded. Israel rarely does anything without America's go-ahead. Depends on what he means by go-ahead, but he's probably too retarded to understand what he's saying there. I seriously doubt, or well, I shouldn't say seriously doubt, because I don't know if, I don't think the United States wanted Israel to attack Iran, because I think the U.S. has been involved in talks with Iran, and this is kind of undermining our position. Also, I don't know if it's because Trump is retarded. He is retarded. The United States has not been working alongside Israel when it comes to doing stuff in the Middle East. We've just been doing our own thing, sometimes to Israel's chagrin. For instance, our direct negotiations with Hamas, I think, triggered the fuck out of Netanyahu. I think they even publicly chastised us for that. Trump was never a peaceful dove, but Dem warhawks let him lie like that. What? Trump is a weak baby. Okay. Is it unfair to give Rand Paul some credit for his willingness to shit on Trump for his behavior and some policy differences they have, like the deficit? No. I think that it is fair to give him some credit for that. Because Rand Paul takes a little bit after his dad, not as extreme, but he's like, I'm a libertarian and low spending and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like Rand Paul has stood relatively tall on that. Now, if it comes down to him being the deciding vote on something or whatever, he would get a lot more credit. But Israel poking Syria is directly against the U.S. interests. Obviously, don't ask for U.S. permission on shit. Yeah, people are probably confusing the fact that Israel telling the U.S. something doesn't mean that the U.S. is approving it. It just means that they're making us aware of it. Remember, if we're not going into World War III, everybody's trying to keep everybody on the up and up to let people know, like, you know, what's going on so that shit doesn't get unhinged or out of control, which is good. It wouldn't surprise me if Iran knew to some extent that they were going to get hit soon. Because I think, didn't Iran mobilize troops like a few days ago? Jesus Christ. Precisely where the bedroom was. God damn, bro. Those are drone wings? How could they lose so many generals if they knew? Well, they would just know that some kind of general strike is coming, but maybe not exactly what's going on. So talking with Chad earlier about the Iran thing and listening to what you said earlier makes me think we just fundamentally disagree. My only question is if nuclear proliferation is the goal, you mean non-nuclear proliferation? Shouldn't countries be solely targeting foreign countries to disable their nukes? I don't see a world where Israel is able to keep Iran from assembling an arsenal. Eventually, they will just look toward third parties to either procure them or treaty and come under their umbrella. Isn't it super mega illegal to ship around and sell enriched uranium to countries? I feel like you would get mega fucked, and I feel like every country would hate you if you were doing shit like that. I could be wrong, but I thought that was not okay.